Hi guys, it's Grace with Grace Gets Gastric. Today is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020, and I am here today for my 5-week post-op plastic surgery update or my 2-year, 9-week post-op VSG update. So to get us started with stats, again, my name is Grace. I am 5'8", 29 years old, and on January 2nd, 2018, I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy or VSG weight loss surgery. My highest weight ever recorded was 354 pounds in May of 2017, and it was required by my insurance to do a 6-month medically supervised weight loss diet. And over the course of 6 months, I lost 35 pounds, so my starting weight day of VSG was 319 pounds. Over the course of about a year and a half, I lost over 120 pounds and scheduled my plastic surgery for January 29th, 2020 with Dr. Alejandro Galvez in Tijuana, Mexico. I weighed in at 192 pounds day of surgery. I had an extended tummy tuck, a fleur-de-lis tummy tuck, and then a reverse tummy tuck, so a corsetplasty. I had a breast lift slash reduction, and I had a bra line back lift, and they removed about 15 pounds of skin. So last week I came at you with a weight of 180.9, and this morning I weighed in at 183.4. So that is a weekly gain of 2.5 pounds, a loss since VSG of 135.6 pounds, and a loss since my highest weight of 170.6 pounds. I've told you guys this before. I'm not really sweating the weight too much right now. Partially, I know because I know what's going on. I mean, partially it's swelling. I was a little bit constipated this morning. I hadn't gone in a couple of days. I've sort of been clearing things out today. So it's definitely a little bit constipated this morning. Definitely some notable swelling, which is probably partially constipation, partially because this last week I've been eating all of the food, mostly carbs. So definitely that increases water retention as well. There might actually be some real weight gain because, like I said, definitely eating a lot of food this past week. I think because I knew my plan was, starting yesterday with my first day back at work, that I was planning to really start getting back into my routine, including my routine with eating, which is mostly happened, but I was sort of kind of eating all of the things because I knew I was gonna stop eating all the things. So it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it. Otherwise, feeling good. So, another busy week here in Graceland. First things first, my medical recliner is no longer with us, so I am now sleeping in my bed. It went home. It left my home last Thursday, so that was the day after my weekly update. So they took that away and I started sleeping in my bed again, which has gone kind of okay. So the first night that I slept in my bed was rough. I won't lie. I'm at a point where I can get myself up out of a horizontal position because I have the use of my arms and I didn't have muscle repair, so it's not too taxing. But my bed is super soft. Like I have like a soft topper on it. I like a soft bed. And I think it's just really too soft for me, to be honest, right now. I have to lie on my back. I am normally a stomach sleeper. And I noticed that my back was actually really hurting, like aching in this way that it was just very uncomfortable. And I think it was the softness of the bed and having to lie flat on my back. So I basically made a makeshift wedge. I don't have a wedge. I'm not doing online shopping right now, and I don't think I need the wedge. If this wasn't working, I would get one. If I had a wedge, I would certainly be using it, but I've basically just stacked some pillows so that I'm kind of more at an angle, and the pillows are a little bit firmer than my bed. And then I have my my seat cushion that I've shown, my tailbone cushion underneath me because I'm not lying flat on my back. I'm kind of, at an angle. It puts pressure on my tailbone. So I have to have that pillow there to prevent tailbone discomfort. And then I have some pillows underneath my knees. So basically I am mocking up the way that I was sleeping when I was at the hotel in Tijuana. So if you've seen those videos, you kind of have an idea of how it's been going. So I'll probably be sleeping like that for the foreseeable future. I'll let you know, obviously, when I stop. But I'm thinking it might be until I can sleep on my stomach again, which I'm not totally sure when that is, but it's a while. Just because I just think it's not super great for my back. So yeah, like that first night I woke up a ton. I had really poor sleep, did not go well. Once I switched over to the faux wedge, things have been going fine. I really need to get better at being legible when I take notes for these videos, because I'm looking down and I'm like, need a magnifying glass to read what I wrote. So as I mentioned, I also went back to work. So today was my second day back, and it's been going fine. I do work a desk job. There is little to no physical effort required beyond just taking my stuff into work, you know. Luckily, like, I haven't needed to work from home or anything, so I don't take my computer home every single day. I did have to bring it in at the beginning of the week, but you know, I have a backpack. It was fine. It's not overly heavy. I was able to transport everything. Haven't needed to move much. I've not been uncomfortable. Sitting in the chair is fine. So, you know, it's a little bit weird being back. And like, it's weird being in the faja because it's just like this very tight compression that feels very different than the kind of compression that I used to wear every single day, you know, because I've been wearing compression since before I lost weight, you know, as a roll management, and now it's for swelling. But so people have asked if people at work know. Pretty much. I haven't been keeping it a secret by any means. I haven't also really been telling a lot of people, but I think that, you know, there's like the grapevine. I think that, you know, I didn't tell necessarily everybody that I was getting weight loss surgery. I think a lot of people just assumed. And I told some people, and maybe those people told others, because again, I am not concerned about it being a secret. Same thing with plastics. I think, some people just kind of assumed that was what I was getting, what was happening, because they all, like, everyone's at work pretty much has seen me lose all the weight. And then I did directly tell several people as well. So, you know, if people ask, I'll tell them. I'm not keeping it a secret or anything. But I wasn't just offering the information up. But most people knew that I was out on leave, at least, or, you know, for surgery. And then, people were asking if, you know, like, there was like a big difference, like, you know, did they notice the difference? And honestly, not really. It is not crazy noticeable to me, I think, or to others, because I'm really wearing the same clothing, and it's a little bit baggier, but a lot of the clothing was kind of baggy beforehand, because I bought it when I was still, and I lost weight after that. And then I didn't want to buy new clothing because I was going to get plastics. And I'm at a point yet where it's like, I don't quite know where my body's going to settle. So I'm not going to buy new clothing until I'm at least 3 months out, like at least a lot of clothing. So everything still fits. But, you know, like, for example, this shirt. This is a shirt that I used to wear, you know, and it's like, this is my waist, right? And this, you know, like, this is a, you know, this is supposed to be skin tight. It used to be. It's not anymore. But, you know, like, you can't see the change in my waist. And, like, it's, right, it's, like, much flatter. But, again, like, you're not really seeing it. So, no, I haven't, you know, it's more obvious when I'm wearing form-fitting things. But I have not worn form-fitting things. I mean, I've been to work 2 days. And I'll probably not for a bit, just because I think I'll feel, it'll be a lot more noticeable. And that might make, it feels a little weird to me. So I think I'm probably going to wait for a bit. I'm also still kind of, I'm still healing, you know. So yeah, work. It's going great. It's going fine. Lent update for those of you who care. I did have I forgot on Friday. I had like a bite of chicken. Like I was just trying someone's food and forgot. So I mean, I was like, one bite of chicken. I'm not going to kill myself on a Lent Friday. The other thing is, I'm thinking that the no online shopping was just a poor choice on my part. You know, and I'm going to stick to it as best as I can. And the real purpose of it was to curb my unnecessary spending. You know, what is it that Erica says? Needs, not wants. And so the problem is that specifically, I've already mentioned the brushes and the bridesmaid dress. But there are also possibly going to be things that I need in my plastic surgery recovery that I cannot get in stores or cannot easily get in stores. And in that case, I will have to buy those online, which I don't love in terms of, you know, the spirit of things, but I also am recovering. So one thing that I was specifically thinking about is silicone tape. I started doing silicone tape on my scars. You can reuse the tape. I still have some left, but I got a lot of incisions. And so while I can reuse the tape a certain amount of times, it's not infinite in terms of the sticking power. And I'm thinking it's probably likely that I'm going to need to buy some more before the end of Lent, but we will see. I'll try to see if I can reuse it as much as possible. You know, there are other things that I might run out of, things like lipo foam, that kind of stuff. You know, I'll first try to see if I can find it somewhere in stores, but I might not be able to. So I'm a little annoyed because the timing is not great, but it was also the best choice for me, I felt like, in terms of something to give up that I am struggling with and that I do think would be beneficial to do less of. So there's that. That was the other thing, is scar tape. I've started using the silicone tape on my scars. I've been using bio oil. I've got to a point where pretty much all of my scabbing has come off, and so using the silicone tape is about to begin, or it has begun. So the way that so one of the reasons that like scars end up looking not great is because they get dry. Like scars kind of like suck up moisture and they get dry and they crack and it forms little like issues in the skin. So the way that the silicone works, and I'm not doing a great job of explaining this, you can look it up, but it essentially kind of like traps moisture in the along the scar and helps kind of keep it lubricated, if you will. Sorry, I'm like, you know, touching my scars, but you can't see them. So that is why it works. I always wondered, because that seemed really weird. I was like, why does silicone do anything? But it helps because it keeps them moisturized. But you want to make sure that the scars are fully closed, that there's not scabbing, because then otherwise that trapping of moisture can lead to potential infection. So that's why you want to do it while the scar is still young and fresh, because it hasn't had, you know, it's like that's when you can do the most good in terms of trying to eventually reduce, you know, like the size and the feel of it. But you want to make sure that the wounds are fully closed. So that's where we're at. What else? I'd say the big thing is I really went on my first big outing this past weekend. I went shopping. So I went over to my sister's, and then we went to a mall, we went to Walmart, we went to Torrid for her. And yeah, there's just like a lot to unpack there. So I drove to my sister's house. So I drove the whole time. So I drove to my sister's house. It's about 30 minutes away, and then another 30 minutes to the shopping areas, and then I had to drive to her house again and home. So, you know, it's like I was in the car for well over 2 hours total driving, which was a lot. You know, it's not super comfortable sitting in a car. It's not like painful or anything. It's just something about the way, I don't know if it's the numbness. Because there's parts of my body that are still numb, that maybe always will be numb. I don't know if it's like parts are still swollen, the faja, I don't know what it is, if I just need to relearn how my body feels sitting down without loose skin everywhere. Probably a combination of all of those things, but it's a little bit weird sitting in the car. And definitely by the end of the day, I was tired. I was just like, I just want to be home. So I think I pushed myself just a little bit, which now I know. I got 10K steps, over 10K steps that day, just a little bit over, which was not intentional. And I think that was definitely part of the tiredness. I mean, I was certainly not moving quickly, but, you know, we were walking around the mall. You know, I wasn't overly exerting myself, but I definitely think it was more than I probably should have done. You don't need to tell me that. I know that, okay? So I don't need to hear that from anyone. I am well aware. Shopping, that's where we're at. I'm sorry, I'm tired too now. Just, I think working, you know, it's fine. It's just more than, you know, I've been doing. So I get tired. But we drove around, we drove to the shopping center, tried some stuff on, didn't really have any luck. I didn't end up buying like anything, which was kind of annoying because we have this family photo shoot coming up in a few weeks, and I need to find an outfit for it, and we were hoping, and so does my sister. None of us found anything, so it's just kind of annoying, but it was, you know, interesting anyways. Actually, you know, like the most luck I had was my sister had gone to Goodwill a few days prior and had just decided to like buy me some stuff. You know, she just thought it was fun to like look around, and so completely unprompted, she just bought me some things. And I got this really cute pencil skirt that looks amazing on me, and it's a size 8, which is wild. It's tight. So I'm curious, I'm waiting to see if it will still fit me, how it will fit me when I'm no longer in compression, when the swelling kind of goes down or up, or I don't know. But it fits me now and it looks great. So that's weird. I've never worn a pencil skirt before, and I never thought I would be able to be someone who could wear a pencil skirt. And it was, to me, like that is such a classically feminine silhouette. And I've always wanted to wear one, basically. So it was like kind of a big moment. But one of the interesting things was that she got me a bunch of tops in size medium, and most of them didn't fit, which was weird, but also like nice in terms of like confirming something for me. So they were very tight. Sometimes I couldn't even get them over my shoulders. Like really tight here, weirdly very tight in the bust, and like my boobs are not big now, but I have a broader frame and broader rib cage. And then the arms, a lot of the arms really tight, which I still have loose skin there, but I also, even without the loose skin, I think they would still be a little tight because I have some muscle. And it was a little bit annoying because, you know, like I was a large before surgery, and I'm still basically going to be a large in terms of tops, but I kind of already have been saying that. Like I've been saying that even if I became skeletal, like I wouldn't ever be able to wear size smalls, and I guess to an extent size mediums. And it was kind of nice to have that confirmed, that it's not just me like playing the big boned card when, you know, you're not big boned, you're fat. Like I legitimately have a bigger bone structure, and it was nice to know, like at this point, you know, I can lose weight on my arms, but like I cannot lose any more weight up here. This is my bone. Right there, there's bone. You know, it's like he removed all the loose skin around my back. So, and like my boobs there was no implants. Like this is just a lift / reduction. So it's like really, there's no more to go down in terms of like my bust. It's really not that big. And so the fact that like that was still an issue was like kind of annoying, but kind of like, okay, yeah, you know, you have not been just trying to play this card. This is like just how your body is, and that's fine. And you know, like I've never had a problem with it. I like that I'm tall. I like that I still have some curves. I like it. So I'm not opposed, but it was just, you know, interesting to confirm that. And then the other thing that was weird was, so we were at Torrid, and my sister had a gift card, and she got this bra. Sorry. She got this bra, and it was expensive. You know, it was like $50 on sale. And like I have spent money on bras. I continue to buy, you know, spend money on bras. I don't buy cheap bras. Like that's something that I invest money into, just because I think it's worth it. And so it's not like I'm a cheapskate when it comes to bras, but like $50 is on sale is a little steep to me. For me, I kind of think like the $40 range is about, you know, what I expect, I guess. So, I mean, I'm not spending a ton of money on them. Actually, and I probably spend more. I just tend to buy them when they're on sale, and it's like buy one, get one half off, or I'm buying a bunch of stuff, so I don't know how much the bras cost. Anyways, I made some comment at the register, you know, and we're Torrid, like the cashier was plus size as well. My sister's plus size, and I was like, oh wow, that's expensive. And the cashier was like, yeah, this is like welcome to plus size bra shopping. And my sister like gave me this look because, yeah, I know. I was buying bras at Torrid, at Lane Bryant. I've never bought Torrid bras. I've never thought they were high quality, but I've been buying bras at Lane Bryant since I was like in 6th grade. So I fucking know that that plus size is expensive. And it was just a really weird moment, especially because I'm old fat, as Clusie would say. You know, I grew up fat, and not just like a little fat, like obese, right? I've been morbidly obese for as long as I can remember. And, you know, 27 years, you know, it's like, yes, I know I wasn't morbidly obese as a 4-year-old, but, you know, 27 years of life, I was morbidly obese. And I've really only been in straight sizes for a little over a year. Not even a full year and a half, I would say. Have I been, no, about a year and a half, I would say. A year and a half now of my life have I been in straight sizes. And, like, that was a huge part of my identity. And not just my identity, but like, again, because I grew up that way. You know, I grew up in that community. Like, that very much shaped my perception of myself, of the world, the formation of who I am. Like, all of that is very intrinsically tied to being a fat woman, you know, an obese woman. And I'm not anymore. And I know that. And it's weird because, you know, so many of the people that I know, most of the people in my life right now are friends and family that have been in my life for a very long time. So they have known and loved me since before I lost the weight, you know, like they know all of the graces that have been. I don't really have anyone in my life who's like come into my life since I lost weight, you know, other than like casual like acquaintances at work or something. But in terms of like meaningful relationships, there's no one that's been really new in terms of that. And so it's I guess easy for me to forget that to outsiders, you know, like I am not part of the fat community anymore. And I think part of the, you know, like I've never really had any fat friends. The only person in my life really that has been over, you know, like significantly overweight is my sister, and who is arguably the person that I'm closest to in the world. So, you know, like that's not to diminish that relationship, but I think that the dichotomy of feeling part, like being part of a community and losing that would have I would have had that thrown in my face more if I had more connections to the community, because I think that if I was around fat people more and I've lost the weight, I think that it is hard to not have that change in dynamic reflected in your interactions. I just think that it's very difficult for that not to happen. It did happen with my sister, as I've talked about on here, and like we've gotten to a point where it's kind of normalized. But you know, we did go through that, and I think it's almost impossible to not have some kind of going through thing if you have if you have fat friends or family and you lose a lot of weight and are no longer fat. That changes things. It just does. And it's surreal and weird, and I don't quite know how I feel about it yet, of just realizing that other people, particularly other fat people, don't see me as like kin, if that makes sense. Especially, it's hard because I don't think that the fact that I am now in straight sizes negates the 27 years I have of lived experience as a fat woman. You know, like that doesn't take away the knowledge and the experiences that I have had. And as those are the bulk of my experiences, that is most of my life has been lived with that, that undertone, you know, like that permeating all of my interactions, everything that I do. Like that was my reality for most of my life. And the fact that it's no longer my reality does not mean that those experiences never happened. But I know that for a lot of people, particularly people in the fat community, it does, you know, like they see the fact that I'm no longer fat as like, they, you know, like, cause they don't know on glance, but you know, being part of that community is something that is, it's a community that is based on appearance to an extent, because your membership can be seen, right? And not to necessarily compare it to other addictions, but you know, like things like alcoholism, for example, like that is there's a community like of people where that membership is not seen, or any kind of membership, you know, of, you know, bird watchers, people who love to watch birds, you know, like you don't know that by just looking at someone, like, oh, you also watch birds, you know, maybe they have secret pins, or, you know, but being fat is a thing that you see. And so, it's weird to kind of be dismissed as like, oh, you don't understand. Like, you don't know what this is like. You have not been here. You don't know that bras cost a ton of money when you're fat, you know? And, it was weird. So I am still kind of processing it. I don't love it, because, I think that growing up fat and having and living life as a fat adult, and like going through all of the experiences I did as a fat person, that has shaped the way that I interact with people, the way that I see the world, the way that I see myself. And in many ways I'm appreciative of it, because I do think that it gives me perspective and insight that other people don't have. You know, there are so many things about being fat that are invisible. So many things that you deal with, that you experience, that you fight against, that others just don't even recognize. So many, you know, like ways that you are discriminated against that other people just don't even realize are a thing. They're just things that you are more aware of, and that I think I will always be aware of. You know, even though like I can now sit in booths and like don't have to worry about chairs breaking and all of that stuff. You know, like that is still something that I notice. And you know, like, and part of that is like I have, like, my sister is you know, still fat and still has those concerns, and so like I have a stronger reason to care about that stuff, because you know, I love her and I don't want her to go through you know, like the pain and the struggle of discrimination, of a world that is not tolerant or built for you know, fat people to exist harmoniously. So I don't know. I've just been kind of in my feels about it, because it was a whole thing, and it really made me, I think it was just like an event that torrid comment, you know, really brought home something that I have been struggling with, I think, for a while since I've lost the weight. So on that note, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about today. I'm doing well. I'm healing well. I'm feeling good. I think that's, yeah, kind of everything there is to say right now. If you have any questions for me, of course, leave them down below, along with any other wonderful comments you have for me. Thank you guys so much for being here and for watching. I so appreciate it. If you want more of my antics, you can head on over to my Instagram and check me out there. I've been trying to story semi-regularly, but I definitely try to post every day if I can. So if you need your daily dose of grace, I'm over there. And in the meantime, have a great day, and I will talk to you all very soon.